Hey everybody, got a new build here I'm working on. This is a Slayer. That's hunting and warfare. These two masteries pair up really nice with each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the build. I'm level 28. I'm in Act 2. And I'll go through the build details and I'm going to do some gameplay. And what I'll do is each act I'll do a little update. A gameplay and a build update just to see if there's any changes or if there's any skills that aren't working out and I've had to change them up. But let's look at what I have so far. We start with warfare. So from warfare, I'm skipping a lot of this left side here. I'm not going to dual wield. I'm going to be using a spear, so you have no need for dual wield. Weapon training. This is for sword, axes, and clubs. So I'm going to be using a spear again, so I don't need weapon training. Now you could use a different weapon, but I think you're going to maximize this build more if you use the spear. So Battle Rage is something you could take, but it's not a priority. Later on in the game, if you have extra points, maybe by legendary you might get that. So what I do want, Onslaught is going to be your left click. This is going to be your main attack. And this whole tree is pretty nice. You get some increased physical damage here, physical and pierce resistance, reduced armor and defensive ability against your opponent's slower movement, and increased attack speed and movement speed. And spears are slow weapons, so you're going to want all the attack speed you can get. Ideally, you want to get to that 222% cap, which is a little harder with a spear, but it's still doable. So one thing this build lacks is area damage, and the one thing you do have for area damage is Warwind. You get that quick movement speed, which is nice. So if you need to get to something fast, some archers hitting you pretty hard, you can get over to them with Warwind. Right now, I can hit 6 targets with it, but it has an 8-second cooldown. So cooldown reduction gear would really help, so you can use that more often. So I have that. I have the Warhorn for the stun, and that can help you get out of some problems occasionally. Over here, dodge attack. So this is really nice for defense, and also battle standard. This is one of the better things in the entire game for survivability. You got maybe Colossus and battle standard might be the top 2 skills that can help keep you alive and let you take some damage. So eventually I want to open this up all the way, finish out this tree, and probably get Ancestral Horn. This is nice against bosses. So over in hunting, I think one of the most important things here is study prey and flush out. Of course, the study prey part's more important, but this is going to lower physical and pierce resistance, and that's your 2 main attacks is going to be physical and pierce, because spears are 75% physical, 25% piercing. And also, if you get this part of it, it also does reduce defensive ability and bleeding. You're going to get some bleeding damage, so all your main attack types are covered. I'm not too concerned with bleeding though, because all the bleeding damage is over time. It's a 3-second type of damage. So a lot of things are going to be dead before the bleeding damage really even kicks in. So except for against bosses and some stronger enemies, the bleeding isn't really going to be a priority. So, but this is very important to get the study prey and flush out eventually. I might take takedown at some point, really just for the speed. So if Warwind is on cooldown and I need to have some quick movement, I might even throw a point or something into that. For buffs, you got Art of the Hunt. This increases. What I want most from this though is the increased pierce damage. It also does increase bleeding. Extra damage to beasts and beastmen is also nice, but not the main reason you're going to take this. Now here, you have a chance to avoid projectiles, and that's really important for when you get to the strong archers later in the game. So you're going to want to get this part of it, find cover. You're going to want to try to max that out. And here, even if you just put 1 point here, I'm actually +2 in skills right now, so I actually only have 1 point in this. Trailblazing, so you have the 100% reduced entrapment. Of course, you're going to want Woodlore. improves your defensive ability and attack speed. Now the thing is, you have to have a bow or a spear equipped or you don't get that attack speed or defensive ability. So you're going to want to max that out. And I took Herbal Remedy, and really the main reason I took that is for the poison resistance. You'll be able to max your poison resistance with that without having to have it on gear. So it's one less resistance you got to worry about getting on your gear. And at some point, I'll probably get Call to Hunt. That's not a priority later in the game. And I'm going to want Volley. That's pretty nice. It works with spears. And that's about it for now. So let's go over some of the gear I have. This is going to be a self-farmed character. And I say that because I'm planning on doing a few different builds. I already have some in the works. Not all of them are going to be self-farmed. But what I will do is I'll try to keep everything appropriate to the act I'm in. So I'm not going to like try to make anything overpowered. So you'll know I am level 28. I'm near the end of Act 2. And that's a little higher than you would be if you didn't do some farming. Now I know a lot of people don't like to bother with farming early game. But I like to farm Act 1 and 2 normal for a couple reasons. Well, you can gain some levels. And levels means skill points. You can really start to advance your build early in the game. And if you do find a few nice items, it can really make things easy for you later on. So what I did find, I was farming for the Stonebinder's cuffs, and I did get a pair. The extra stat on here is the poison resistance, and that's probably the one stat I really don't need. So this isn't the best pair of Stonebinder's cuffs, but I'm only going to be wearing these on normal. I'll look for a new pair on Epic. Now, while I was looking for these, I was looking in the Pythian caves, and I didn't find the cuffs. But I did find the Companion's Guard, has 1 to all skills in hunting, and I found these Ardent Greaves. Now these are nice because they have the less damage from Beastmen. And these are pretty common. I find a pair of these on almost every playthrough. So I had given up on the caves looking for the cuffs. I farmed a little bit more in the Labyrinth, and that's where these dropped. And I tend to have better luck finding these in the Labyrinth, even though probability-wise, you should have better chances in the Pythian caves because the queens have higher chances to drop those, but I have better luck in the Labyrinth. And I'm using the Paean necklace. This is pretty nice for a low-level necklace, and this is fairly easy to find also. Now, I have a Shroud of Eternal Night, and this is actually a really nice artifact considering you can complete it in Act 1 normal. Everything you need for it, Act 1 normal, and it's easy stuff. It's like a Bat Fang, I think it's Venom Sac, and Achilles, I'm pretty sure. So pretty easy to make. Although you may not find it if you don't spend a little extra time, in Act 1. I have Sandstalker armor. I got this from the Sand Queen. It has +1 to study prey and 2 to flush out. So it's really nice for hunting, although it only has 63 armor. So I really don't want to be wearing this into like Act 4. I'm going to try to get an upgrade, in Act 3 coming up. My spear, I bought this from a vendor. I wasn't finding very good spears. I seen this one, so I grabbed it. This ring I also bought from a vendor. It had double affix, really nice ring actually, considering it's a level 15. And this one, robust loop. This one dropped off something, I can't remember. And this helm I found while I was farming Sand Queen. This dropped off one of her minions. So this is it's a monster infrequent. It's not too bad. Strength and dexterity, dodge attacks. So as far as my attribute points, I'm keeping a few extra just in case I need to make some adjustments. But I've been spending so far 1-to-1 strength and dexterity. And you can see, I have a lot more strength. You get strength pretty easy from items. My trees, my hunting tree gives 42 strength, 60 dexterity. So I have a dexterity bonus there. And in my warfare, it's even strength and dexterity. So even though I should have more dexterity points, I have the more strength because of gear. So I'm going to probably stay with that 1-to-1. I may tweak it a little bit later. But I want the dexterity for defensive and offensive ability. And it'll also increase my piercing damage. So I'm going to go with that. Let's do a little gameplay. I just unlocked Valley of Kings, so let's pick it up in Valley of Kings and we'll play a little bit and see how this goes. It should be really strong against bosses once you get, you know, your skills worked out with that Study Prey. And you get some nice damage from your onslaught and some of your, you know, your other passives. All right, so Valley of Kings. So I had just gotten here. The map is still blacked out. I'm just going to go straight to Ramses' tomb here. And go for the Telkeen, and then I'll try to finish up the act. I might come back and go through these tombs later. Just for the sake of the experience and see if anything drops. And so far I really haven't had any trouble. Everything's been really easy. Like I have that war horn for the stun. I really don't even need it. Or I haven't really used it. It's there if I do need it. I really like that whirlwind. So I'm going to be looking for that cooldown reduction. I know there's 2 nice hunting sets, one epic and one legendary, that the helms have some pretty good cooldown reduction on there. I had a little bit of problem with energy. So I've been putting Hecate's Crescent on my ring. I have to put one on the new ring too. Oops, not yet. I took a wrong turn there. Ramses should be, oh yeah, this way. And I have the battle standard, but I very seldom need it. I'll put it out when, you know, something strong comes along. I'm going to use it against the Telkeen for sure. Alright, Tomb of Ramses. I'm going to clear this whole tomb. I'm not just going to go straight for the Telkeen. Now the thing is, for the most of the time you're going to be just doing one target, so, you know, because you don't have a lot of area attacks. But at least you can kill most things in 1 hit, 2 hits. Starting to get the greater health. Just recently those started dropping. There's a hero. I gotta put the stun on him. I gotta get my Study Prey back up on him. So he's a little bit, he was kind of strong. So constructs, you can't really make them bleed, I don't believe. And they're strong against piercing, but they're not too tough against just regular physical damage. There's a majestic chest over here, see if we get lucky. Yeah, I got a couple greens out of there. Don't look like it's anything I need though. Treacherous Warbow and Caster Helm, I believe, yeah. That's pretty strong poison out of those traps. Another thing that can kind of help you is casting speed. I know you may not think you need casting speed with this type of build, but a lot of times I'll get that slight delay when I'm trying to cast Study Pray or something, and you interrupt it. But if you have high casting speed, it'll get off almost instantly, and you don't have to worry about trying to recast it because it didn't go off for you. There's some gilded skeletons. Level up, level 29. How do we do those points? Oops, not for that. I want to open my skill trees up. I'm getting close. Let's see. Warfare's a little ahead. I think I'm going to put these into hunting and just put all 3 to opening it up. I don't really need any of my other skills added to right now, so I'll go grab that green item back there in a second. My experience shrine here. Sometimes there's a majestic chest in this corner. Let's take a quick look at that buckler. Strength, health, and minus recharge. Hey, there you go. It's not very much though, 9%. But I might use that because I want to put together... Let me see what I got. I want to put together something with vitality resistance. So this essence of the Aegis of Athena has a lot of vitality damage resistance, only goes on shields. So I might put it on that shield and use that in fights where I need the vitality resistance. You know, if I don't have anything better when I get to Typhon, I'm going to want to have something. So I may just use that. I don't have a hallowed helm right yet at least, but I might do some vendor shopping or might get lucky, something could drop. A lot of greens coming here. Great helm, a couple helms. 10% increased experience. Tempted to wear that. And another one with increased experience. Alright, not going to put it on right now, but I might throw a artifact or a relic or something on there and use it later. See, the thing is with my whirlwind, I just hit it and it missed. And that happens sometimes where it's not effective. I think it happens more with takedown for whatever reason. Gotta remember to put my herbal remedy back on. Shouldn't have cast that on him. Should have tried to cast it back here on the pack, because I only hit one by directing at him. It has a pretty good radius, but those things were too far away. And you don't really even hardly need the Study Prey right now. You know, in on normal, early, you know, maybe until you get to like Act 4. Maybe some stronger things in Act 3, because most of the stuff goes down pretty easy even without it. They don't have much for resistances this early in the game, but it's going to be a huge help, you know, in Epic and Legendary. I'm using it mostly just to stay in the habit of it. Alright, Telkeen's coming up in here. Gotta remember to put the standard out. Hopefully it doesn't destroy it too quick. Yeah, it's already gone. See, like there I had to cast Study Prey twice. It didn't want to go off the first time, and it wasn't because of the skill disruption. Let's see what we got. Whole lot of yellow. Alright, so I'm just going to pour it out of here. Go to... back to Thebes.
You defeated the Telkeen? Excellent! Perhaps there is hope yet. You must get to Babylon. Even now, another Telkeen is assaulting that city. What is this town?
I got 2 skill points there. Forgot which tree was higher now. 5 more for that. I'm at the same point here. I'm going to put 1 in each tree.
There, the gates are open.
Okay. Let's head toward the end of the act here. I always make sure I kill these Dune Raiders. Just looking for, you know, an Eldritch Bow or something. Sometimes there's the pillagers back here, and they have a chance to drop the Eldritch Bow, so I always make sure I clear this area. I give myself a chance to find the things at least. You could use a bow as your alternate weapon setup. For certain situations you might want that. Yeah, so hitting one at a time can take a little while. Getting through some packs. I'm not going to clear all this outside area. Get the hero in here. So those obelisks there, I know a lot of people are farming for experience. They do give some nice experience. A lot more than the monsters are giving. You see how much my experience bar moved from that kill compared to some of these other things. When Whirlwind works right, it's really nice. So like this is where you'd like to have that run speed when you're getting hit by some kind of a ranged attack, or in this case it's a hero. You want to get to him fast. See, something just did a ton of damage to me. Still doing a lot of damage, and my health was on cooldown. Want to get to this guy, get him dead. Should have just put my standard out earlier. Yeah, he was pretty strong. His friend was helping him too there. Okay. Get another health potion in me. Yeah, I'm not too resistant against these guys. I'm gonna have to look for some resistance gear, or just be careful, I guess. Round these guys up so I can hit them with my whirlwind. Kind of slow moving. Can't hit him. I don't know what's going on. I'm stuck in this spot and I'm not hitting anything. That was weird. Alright, not too much farther to the end of this dungeon here and get to the boss. Move on to Act 3. So you can see spears are kind of slow, so you're really going to have to look for some attack speed gear. Alright, so my battle standard is off cooldown. Make sure my herbal remedy is up. So both the bosses went down pretty easy. There are some things that are causing me some problems. Okay, I'm just going to end here. I'm going to do this again probably the end of Act 3. Typhon for sure, and maybe some of Wuso Caverns or something. So I'll see you again in the next episode, and we'll probably have some updates, some gear, some where my points went. So we'll see you next time.